Blessed are the humble in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. My sacrifice to Elohim is a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart, O Elohim, you will not reject.
Joshua was going up on his way to Jerusalem to be lifted up on a tree that he might come into heaven. The multitude began to praise him while they were trying to stop him. Joshua said, in these holy weeks, the stones will surely rise. And there was one stone, to praise the mighty name, the name of Yahweh. There's one stone, and one more to praise him. Blessed is the King who comes in the name of Yahweh. Now David was a man of praises. He praised Yahweh in the sanctuary. He praised him on the trumpet and the harp. He praised him in the dance. I don't want to be nobody, but I'm going to worship Joshua, because he said, if I hold my peace, the stones will surely rise. And there is one stone, one voice, to praise the mighty name, the name of Yahweh. There is one stone, and one more to praise him. Blessed is the King who comes in the name of Yahweh. To praise the mighty name, the name of Yahweh. There is one stone, one more to praise him. Blessed is the King who comes in the name of Yahweh. Let's go. One voice to praise the mighty name, the name of Yahweh. It's one song, and one more to praise him. Blessed is the King who comes in the name of Yahweh. One song, and one voice to praise the mighty name, the name of Yahweh. One song, and one voice to praise him. Blessed is the King who comes in the name of Yahweh. One song, and one voice to praise the mighty name, the name of Yahweh. One song, and one voice to praise him. Blessed is the King who comes in the name of Yahweh.
Amen.
Yes, she was never open his heart. From the time to the crucifixion, to the grave he wasn't laid at. After 3 days in the garden, came back and needed to say just please. Let's play before the lion, and the lion became king. You want to find him again, and so standing there to me, and over me, his cross, and to his feet. There'll never be another chance to read God. He don't answer one thing. That is the land. became the light, and the light became the I promised he was rejected, cause he came for the man's land. Oh, many years in the road, very eyes shall see the land divine of Judah, with God the King of Kings. Oh, I'm the King of the standing next to me, and he won't be there with the rebels rock, with hands and feet. There's never be another Calvary song, we don't have to bring one thing. That day the land became the light, and the light became the day. There you won't find the King of the standing next to me, and he won't be there to a rebels rock, with hands and feet. There'll never be another Calvary song, we don't have to bring one thing. That day the land became the light, and the light became the day. Yeah, the day the land became the light, the light became the day.
Oh, man, that ought to wake you up.
And loving things shall be added unto you. Hallelujah, and she and he shall find. God and the Lord shall be opened unto you. Hallelujah, hallelujah,
Praise you.
like a prodigal son, I wandered in darkness, and I traded my life for worldly good times. No peace in my heart I ever could find. And I got so tired of looking after the swine. So I leave my world and even my Father, for the table is spread and waiting for me. I can see my Father coming out to greet me. I'm ready to be just a servant for thee. Like a prodigal son, I wandered from Yeshua, but the good shepherd saw through the need and the the 99, he left me alone, just to find this lost sheep. Now I was hungry and cold, so I believe I will go hanging with my Father. For his table is spread, and you're waiting for me. I can see my Father coming out to greet me. I'm willing to be just a servant for thee. So I believe I will hanging with my Father, for his table is spread, I see my Father coming out to greet me. I'm willing to be just a servant for thee. I'm willing to be just a servant When you are up against a struggle, fast shadows are dreams, and your hopes been fully crushed by Satan's manifested schemes, and you hear the urge within you to submit to earthly fears. Don't let the way you're standing in simply just fear. Praise your way. You can work it out and praise your way. For God in heaven's way, praise your way. For the chains that seem to bind you, serve only to remind you, take our hands behind you when you pray. Now Satan is a liar, and he wants to make us be. And God, when he knows himself, we're children of the King. So lift up that mighty shield of faith, for the battle must be won. You know Yeshua has risen, and the work's already done. Praise your way. We can work through those and praise your way. Our young is great, praise your way. For the chains that seem behind you, serve only to remind you that our power is behind you when you praise Yahweh. You can work through those who praise Yahweh. Our young is great, praise Yahweh. For the Jesus, sing among you. We're only to remind you. Let it drop silence behind you. We when you it's so plain to see that the time is getting shorter. Anyone can tell this world just cannot stand. All the things that God created as beauty is now being destroyed by mortal man. Oh, but God is going to raise him up a people who rely in him and do his perfect will. And my friend, I feel the time is growing nearer when we shall see our Savior as he is. Until I'll be his crossing to the Lord. He still saves on these days, and you can still find sweet refuge for your soul. Today I'm going to move into my mansion, custom made by Yeshua, King of all kings. And when we gather at the throne with our Savior, we'll sing the songs that angels cannot sing. Oh, Yeshua, it's unto thee, I'll lead my street to the Lord. He still saves when he's fears, and you can still find sweet refuge for your soul. But the name of Yeshua, until I'll leave his body to the floor. Yeshua lives. He still saves when he's fears, and you can still find sweet refuge for your soul. Oh, you can still find sweet refuge for your soul. Has been so good, I can't complain. When I'm blessed, Yah gives me strength to rise again. From the struggle so under the sun, under the sun, oh, Jesus, oh, sounds sweet all the time. Seems like waiting, it's always all over my life. Someday I'm gonna leave this world behind. Sounding sweeter all the time. It's hard to lose a loved one to carry me. But the road we had, the blessed road that Yeshua gave. Yahweh, life, all that you used from our lives. When we begin in that home, we wait for you and I. Yes, we pray, sounding sweeter all the time. Seems like lately it's always on my mind. Someday I'm gonna leave this world behind. Oh, but heaven sounding sweeter all the time. Heaven sounding sweeter all the time. Of a mighty rushing wave, and it's closer now than it's ever been. I can almost hear the trumpet. And the midnight cry, where we go, when Yeshua steps down on the ground of his children, the days are so round. midnight cry, when Yeshua comes again. I'll live around thee. I see prophecies fulfilling, and the signs of the times they're appearing everywhere. I can almost hear my Father as He calls for His children. At the midnight cry, we'll be going home. When your shoes step out, 1,000 volts to you. Running out your eyes. And those that remain will quickly rejoice as the midnight cry. Yeshua comes again. I almost hear my Father as He calls for His children. At the midnight cry, when Yeshua comes again. At the midnight cry, Yeshua comes again. Amen. Amen. Woo. Yahweh, Yahweh, ancient one, yet you're here today. Ageless one, you are the changeless one, showing love to all generations. So show us your glory. Show us your glory. Let your goodness pass us right before our eyes. And we will worship, and we will bow down, and we will call you Lord. And we will feel before the maker of the universe. And we will call Yahweh, sweet Yahweh, you're the faithful one. You have shown us the way through your sight. Through all life, you have done. You are faithful to the end. The world was born to show us your glory. Let your goodness pass before us, right before us. And we worship, and we bow down, and we
Oh, yeah. We worship you.
You are faithful to Abraham, and you are faithful to Moses. You are faithful to David, and you're faithful to us today. The God of the ages, God of the you are faithful to us today. Yahweh, worship you are faithful to us right here today. And we will worship, and we will bow down, and we will call you Lord. And we'll kneel before the maker of the universe. And we will follow and we will worship, and we will bow down, and we will call you Lord, and we will kneel before the maker of the universe, and we will call you
And I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from Yahweh, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, now the dwelling of Yahweh is with men, and he will live with them, and they'll be his people, and Yahweh himself will be with them and be their Elohim. Amen. Yahweh is so good, isn't he?
All the time.
We still got several people out, some in sickness and some in travel. Remember, Brother Tony and his wife, and Brother Larry is still getting treatment for his throat cancer. He is such an uplifting guy. I was with him this week, taking him to his treatment there at Scott and White. And he's just a ray of sunshine when he goes into that place. I see others that have a look of despair in their eyes, but Brother Larry knows where his Redeemer is. Amen. And he knows one day he shall see him standing on this planet. And he will be with him and dwell with him forever. And he also knows healing is the children's bread. So he said, Rabbi, I'm in a win-win situation. I said, Shaul said it this way. If I live, it's Messiah. If I die, it's gain. It's a win-win. Amen. Also, Sister Miriam is battling strep throat.
102 fever.
102 fever. That won't quite cook an egg.
Take a long time.
What's that got to do with anything?
You get the white part.
He'll get the white part, yeah. She called me just a few minutes ago and said for everybody to know she'd rather be here than in bed. And I said, wouldn't we all? Wouldn't we all?
Yes.
Better to be here than in bedside assembly. Yes. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. All who follow his precepts have good understanding. To him belongs eternal praise. Praise Yahweh, my soul. Yahweh, my Elohim, you're very great. You're clothed with splendor and majesty. Yahweh wraps himself in light as with a garment. He stretches out the heavens like a tent. Gentlemen, would you please stand? Lady, hold on to your seats. Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al mitzvot tzitzit. Amen. Which means, blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us concerning the doctrine of tzitzit. Throughout the generations to come, you are to make tassels on the corners of your garments, with a cord of techelet, a unique kind of heavenly blue on each tassel. And you will have these tassels to look at. And so you will remember the commands of Yahweh, that you may obey them and not prostitute yourself by chasing after the lust of your own hearts and eyes. Then you will remember to obey all my commands, and will be consecrated to your Elohim. Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahitatei b'tzitzit. Amen. Which means, blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments, and has commanded us to enwrap ourselves with tzitzit. I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of Yahweh. And everyone says, Amen. You may be seated. I will exalt you, Yahweh, for you lifted me out of the depths and did not let my enemies gloat over me. Yahweh, my Elohim, I called to you for help, and you healed me. You, Yahweh, brought me up from the realm of the dead. You spared me from going down to the abyss. Sing the praises of Yahweh, you, his faithful people. Praise his holy name, for his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may last only for the night, but joy comes in the morning. When I felt secure, I said, I will never be shaken. Yahweh, when you favored me, you made my royal mountain stand firm, but when you hid your face, I was dismayed. To you, Yahweh, I called. I called to Adonai. I cried for mercy. What is gained if I'm silenced? I said. If I go down to the abyss, will the dust praise you? Will it proclaim your faithfulness? Hear, Yahweh, and be merciful to me. Yahweh, help me. You turn my wailing into dancing. You remove my sackcloth and clothe me with joy, that my heart may sing your praises and not be silent. Yahweh, my Elohim, I will praise you forever. Amen. So when you put your seat on, ladies, when you put your veils on today, just say, He's clothing me with joy. Let everything else just go. But I'm being clothed with joy, and nobody can steal my joy unless I give it to them. Amen?
And in my great compassion, I will come to
Altogether, the Israelites are to observe the Sabbath, celebrating it for the generations to come as a lasting covenant. It will be a sign between me and the Israelites forever. For in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day He rested and was refreshed. Let us all stand and face Jerusalem to make our profession of faith. Yahweh is the Almighty. He is one. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh is our Elohim. Yahweh is one. Blessed is the name of his glorious kingdom for all eternity. You shall love Yahweh, your Elohim, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. And these words which I command you today shall be in your hearts. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign upon your hand, and let them be frontlets between your eyes. And you shall fix them as a mezuzah on the doorpost of your house and upon your gates. Amen. And you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Remain standing as we pray the Nazarene Amidah. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. You may be received. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu et direct, ha-Yeshua, b'Mashiach Yeshua. All together. Blessed are you, Yahweh our Elohim, King of the universe, who has given us the way of salvation in Messiah Yeshua. Speedily cause the branch of David thy servant to sprout, and let his horn be exalted by thy salvation, because daily do we wait for thy salvation. Altogether, I believe with perfect faith in the coming of the Messiah. Ever how long it takes, I will await his coming every single day. Baruch et Yahweh Hambarek.
Baruch Yahweh Hambarek Le'olam Va'ed.
Bless Yahweh, who is to be praised.
Blessed be Yahweh, who is praised for all eternity.
Altogether, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh, your Elohim. In it you shall do no work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor the male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Therefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations as a perpetual covenant. This will be a sign between me and you for the generations to come, so that you may know that I am Yahweh who makes you holy. O Yahweh, among the Elohim, who is like you, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders. There is none like you among the Elohim Yahweh, and there are no deeds like yours. Your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and your dominion endures throughout the generations. Yahweh rules. Yahweh has ruled, and Yahweh will rule forever and ever. Yahweh will give strength to his people, and Yahweh will bless his people with perfect wholeness, that we have given the name Shalom, translated as peace. Father of mercy, bestow your favor upon Zion. Rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, for in you alone we trust. Elohim and ruler, high and exalted, master of all the world. Who was and is to come, who was and is to come. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Baruch Hashem Yahweh, Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Amen, 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 amen. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Amen, 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 amen. Yahweh, you are holy, and your name is holy, and the holy ones praise your name every single day forever. Blessed are you, the Holy One of Israel. When the ark would travel, Moses would say, Arise, O Yahweh, and let your enemies be scattered, and let them that hate you flee from you. For from Sion will go forth the Torah and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. Blessed is he who in his holiness gave the Torah to his people. For from Sion will go forth the Torah. The word of Adonai will come from Jerusalem. Blessed is he that gave the Torah, the living word, to his people, the commonwealth of Israel, in holiness. We can all say, Amen. Come forward Ed, son of the Torah. Everyone, you may be seated, for the Torah is at rest.
Blessed is Yahweh, who is blessed. Altogether, blessed is Yahweh, who is blessed forever and ever. Blessed is Yahweh, who is blessed forever and ever. Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, who chose us from among all the people and gave us his Torah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, giver of the Torah. The Torah portion today is taken from Numbers chapter 21, verses 5 through 9. And the people spoke against Elohim and against Moshe. Why have you brought us out of Egypt to die in the wilderness, where there is no bread, nor is there any water, and our soul loathes this light bread? And Yahweh sent venomous serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and many of the people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Moshe and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against Yahweh and against you. Pray to Yahweh that he take away the serpents from us. And Moshe prayed for the people. And Yahweh said to Moshe, Make a venomous serpent and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that every one who is bitten, when he looks upon it, shall live. And Moshe made a serpent of bronze and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he looked at the serpent of bronze, he lived. The Hebrew words for memorization for today's reading are 1. Bread, lachem, Strong's number 3899. Water, mayim, number 4325. Serpent or snake, nachash, 5175. Pray or intervene, palal, 6419. And live, chayah, 2425. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam, who gave us the Torah of truth and implanted eternal life within us. Baruch atah Yahweh, giver of the Torah. Come forward, Regina, you who consider the prophets.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, who chose good prophets and was pleased with their words, which were spoken in truth. Blessed are you, Yahweh, who chooses the Torah, Moses his servant, Israel his people, and the prophets of truth and righteousness. The Haftorah portion I will be reading today will be Micah, chapter 5, 6 through 14. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people like the dew from Yahweh, like the showers upon the grass, that do not delay for man, nor wait for the sons of men. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the nations in the midst of many peoples, like a lion among the beasts of the forest, like a young lion among the flocks of sheep, which is, if it goes through, treads down and tears in pieces, and no one can save. Your hand shall be lifted up upon your adversaries, and all your enemies shall be cut off. And it shall come to pass in that day, says Yahweh, that I will cut off your horses out of the midst, and I will destroy your chariots. And I will cut off your cities of your land, and throw down all of your fortresses. And I will cut off witchcraft from your land, from your hand, and you shall have no more soothsayers. Your carved idols also I will cut off, and your pillars from your midst, and you shall bow down no more to the work of your hands. And I will pluck up your Asherim from your midst, and I will destroy your cities. And I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the nations, such as they have not heard. Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, Rock of all ages, righteous in all generations, the mighty, the faithful one, who says and does, who speaks and fulfills. For all his words are true and right, for the Torah, for the divine service, for the prophets, for this Sabbath day which you gave us, Yahweh, our Elohim, for holiness and for rest, for honor and for glory. For all this, Yahweh, our Elohim, we thank you and bless you. Blessed be your name by the mouth of all the living, continually forever. Blessed are you, Elohim, sanctifier of the Sabbath. Come forward, Adele, faithful disciple of King Messiah Yeshua.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, who has given us his only begotten Son as our Redeemer, and has given a new covenant to the house of Israel, unifying the two into one new kingdom, the commonwealth of Israel. Blessed are you, Yahweh, who chose the original 12 apostles to bring this message of renewal to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and has chosen us to carry on that work, to sift Israel from the nations, where you scattered them. May this reading stir the heart of your people. Our reading today is from 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 4 through 10 and verses 18 through 22. For if Elohim spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down into hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness, to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those who should live ungodly, and delivered just Lot, who was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. For that righteous man, dwelling among them, in seeing and hearing, vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. Yahweh knows how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanliness, and despise government. Presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness, those that were clean escaped from them who live in error. While they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption. For of whom a man is overcome, of the same is he brought into bondage. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Master and Savior, Yeshua Messiah, they are again entangled therein and overcome, the latter end is worse than in the beginning. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness, than after they have known it, to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. For it has happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog turned to his own vomit again, and the sow that was washed to her wallowing in the mire. Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, for ratifying the new covenant that gives your people the law of return by the sacrificial blood of your Son, King Messiah Yeshua. We thank you for giving us the full messianic message of the kingdom. We proclaim to all the world, the kingdom is at hand. For all this, Yahweh, our Elohim, we thank you and bless you. Blessed are you, Yahweh, who has renewed the covenant with your people Israel. Come forward, Gamal, and bring to Israel the song of truth.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, who selected people of praise and was pleased with their worship in spirit and truth. You raised up David, your faithful servant, and righteous anointed, the sons of Korah, who brought honor to their house, and righteous worshippers in every generation, who sing songs of delight in your presence, and you inhabit their praise. Blessed are you, Yahweh, giver of psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. I'll be reading Tehillim, Perik, Kuf Yod Aleph. Hallelujah. מודה יהוה בכל לבב, בסוד ישרים ועדה. I will praise Yahweh with my whole heart, in the assembly of the upright and in the congregation. גדולים מעשי יהוה, דרושים לכל חפציהם. The words of Yahweh are great, sought out all by all who love them. הוד והדר פועלו, בצדקתו עומדת לעד. His work is honorable and glorious, and his righteousness endures forever. זכר עשה לנפלאותיו, חנון ורחום יהוה. He has made his wonderful works to be remembered. Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion. טרף נתן לרעב, יזכור לעולם בריתו. He has given food to those who fear him. He is ever mindful of his covenant. כוח מעשיו הגד לעמו, לתת להם נחלת גויים. He has declared to his people the power of his works, that he may give them the heritage of the nations. מעשי ידיו אמת ומשפט, נאמנים כל פקודיו. The works of his hands are truth and justice. All his commandments are sure. סמוכים לעד לעולם, עשויים באמת וישר. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. פדות שלח לעמו, ציווה לעולם בריתו, קדוש ונורא שמו. He sent redemption to his people. He has commanded his covenant forever. Holy and reverend is his name. רשת חוכמה, יראת יהוה, שכל טוב לכל עושיהם, תהילתו עומדת לעד. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all those who do his commandment. His praise endures forever. May it be your will, Yahweh our Elohim, and the Elohim of our ancestors, that you pay heed and mercy to the psalms that I have recited, and may it stand in love, fellowship, and companionship, for we love you and you alone. Amen.
This is the Torah which Moses placed before the children of Israel. Behold, a good doctrine has been given to you, Yahweh says. My Torah, do not forsake it. Altogether, all that Yahweh has said, we will do and hear. It is a tree of life for those who grasp it, and those who support it are blessed. Its ways are the ways of pleasantness, and all of its paths are peace. Help us to return to you, Yahweh, and then truly we shall return. Renew our days as in the ancient past. Amen. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Yahweh, my strength and my Redeemer. Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, who sanctifies us with his commandments and commanded us to engross ourselves in the study of his word. We all say, Amen. You may be seated. Amen. Today I want to speak to you about identity theft. Identity theft. That's a big problem, a multi-million-dollar problem. If it's ever happened to you, you know how it can devastate your life. The Federal Trade Commission, the United States Customer Protection Agency, estimates that as many as 10 million Americans last year, that's 1 in 10, or 1 in 30, have their identity stolen each year. In fact, you or someone you know may have experienced some form of identity theft. That's staggering. So why do people steal your identity? Thieves steal your identity to make large purchases in your name. Thieves steal your identity to open accounts in your name. Thieves steal your identity to drain bank accounts in your name. Thieves steal your identity to open loans in your name. Thieves steal your identity to counterfeit checks in your name. Thieves steal your identity to obtain employment. Thieves steal your identity to obtain governmental benefits. And thieves steal your identity to obtain health care. Identity theft gives a person a new self, a new reputation, but most importantly, a new history. With this, a person can evade the law, escape their life, and start all over while ruining someone else's life. When were you given your name? At birth. It's your birthright. So when someone steals your identity, they steal your birthright. Why do they do it? They do it because they sometimes don't have anything. And they believe that if they steal someone's identity, they can have everything.
Amen.
That's the truth behind replacement theology. They're stealing Israel's identity.
Amen.
Who is? The church is stealing Israel's identity. What's the two-house theology? It goes by several names. You may know it as the two-house teaching, the two-house doctrine, the two-house ideology, the two-house movement, the Ephraimite doctrine. But simply I call it the Nazarene Israelite belief. And I shall strengthen the house of Judah, and shall save the house of Joseph. And I shall bring them back because I have compassion on them, and they shall be as though I had not cast them off. For I am Yahweh, their Elohim, and I will answer them. Zechariah 10:6 says. Reminds me of Psalms 91. Because they know my name, when they call to me, I'll answer them. Now notice, I've modified the words Judah, Judah, and Joseph, Joseph, to illustrate a reality. The kingdom became divided and became two distinct peoples. The people known as the Jews are only part of Israel, not exclusively representing all of Israel. The Joes, from the house of Joseph, have become a multitude of nations, colors, and people who descend from various admixtures of ancient Israelites and non-Israelites, who were largely scattered and are deported by the Assyrian Empire back in 740 to 722 BCE. The prophet Hosea foretold that Israel would cease to be a people, but they would not forever forget their Israelite identity, as we see in Hosea 1, 9 to 11, and 2 and 23. Ephraim inherited the stick of Joseph, says Ezekiel 37:16. and became the most influential tribe in the northern kingdom of Israel, largely because of the birthright promise. And this is why the northern kingdom was sometimes idiomatically called Ephraim in Hosea 5 and 3, and or the house of Joseph in Zechariah 10 and 6. So there are the Jews, and then there are the Joes. Well, isn't the Nazarene Israelite belief itself identity theft? No, it's not. No, it's not. Nazarene Israelite belief is not replacement theology. Replacement theology is when the church takes the covenants and the promises given to Israel and transfers them over to the Gentile church. And then for the Jews to get back their covenants and promises, they have to convert to the Gentile church. Oh, and by the way, since they're the chosen people now, they have the right to change the times and seasons. But wait a minute. According to Daniel, who changed the times and the seasons? The Antichrist, the Mashiach Nagid. The spirit of Antichrist is that which changes the times and seasons. You see, here's our guideline. To the Torah and to the testimony. If they don't speak or preach according to this word or this doctrine, it's because there is no revelation. There is no light in them. Says Isaiah 8 and 20. Oh, but it feels good. I get goosebumps when I go there. I get goosebumps when I hear the national anthem, but it's not a spiritual experience. It's a nationalistic one.
Yeah, it's too cold.
When Ima kisses me, I get goosebumps. And I assure you, that's not a spiritual experience. It's quite a carnal one, but I enjoy it. Feelings change. Somebody came up to me and said, I'm going to divorce my husband. I don't love him anymore. I said, well, hold on. It'll come again. Well, he's gotten fat. And you've gotten old. So there you're even. But I want something new. Okay. Just upgrade your eyesight with your glasses and he may look better. He may look worse, but he may look better, but he'll look new. No, ladies and gentlemen, you can't trust feelings. They're changed by environment, hormones, health. Lots of things change feelings. We can only count on the Torah and the testimony.
Amen.
That's our rule of faith. Are you listening to me?
Amen.
That's the ultimate test. It's not whether it feels good. It's not whether you can tap your finger or your foot to the beat of the music. This isn't the Dick Clark American Bandstand. It's got a nice beat and I can dance to it. That doesn't mean anything. To the Torah and to the testimony. That means everything. No, the Nazarene Israelite belief is exactly the opposite of the replacement theology. See, our reality, because we exist, turns all other theologies on its head. That's why when you begin to tell others about your newfound knowledge that you're Israel, well, I know you're spiritual Israel. No, I'm not. I am spiritual Israel, but I'm physical Israel too.
Amen.
No, you're Presbyterian. No, you're Methodist. No, you're Catholic. No, you're Baptist. No, you're Church of Christ and we don't believe in music. No. I'm an American. I'm an African American. I'm an Irish American. I'm a Scottish American. I'm an Italian American. I'm a Native American. There ain't no such thing. You all got here some kind of way. Whether you walked across the Bering Strait or whether you came to the Mayflower, there's no Native Americans. We all immigrated. Hello? In fact, we need to strip all these little tags off ourselves. Because in the end, there's only one tag, the one on your toe. That'll tell them where they're going to bury you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Israel, period.
Amen.
We don't have to say we're Nazarene Israel. We don't have to say that we're new Israel or improved Israel or we got enzymes or whatever. We're just Israel.
Amen.
And go ahead and say, we're Yahweh's chosen. He said, if you will love me and obey me, then you will be above all other peoples my treasure.
Amen.
I've known a few girls. None of your business how many. But I've known a few. A lot less than some, but a few more than others. But I've forgotten all others I may have known, cleaving only unto her.
Amen.
Why? Because she's my special treasure. I've selected her from the bevy. Don't you love that word? From the bevy of beauties on this planet. And a few ugly ones. And I've selected her above all others. Now there's no magic in that. People do that all the time. When they go to the pound, they'll look and there'll be a cute little dog. And they will focus all of their fantasies on that one dog. Oh, isn't he beautiful? Look at him, he's looking at me. He's looking at anybody that'll get him out of that cage. Look at him. He wants to go home with me. He wants to go anywhere but that cage. Except the gas chamber. He's just hoping you'll take him home and do one thing, shove something in his mouth. But what I'm saying is, people fixate on things and then they fantasize.
Yes.
Ema picked me. And she fantasized about how perfect I was. That I was going to be her knight in shining armor. And I've tried to keep that armor polished ever since. Gentlemen, that's your job, by the way. Not to tell them you're not fantastic. That you're not worth fantasizing about, but that you understand it's your job to keep that armor polished. Hello?
Amen.
If you don't do that, it gets tarnished. And women are emotionally stimulated. Just like you're optically stimulated, ladies. Try not to let yourself go. And if you get a little crack, put a couple more coats of paint on that old barn and it'll look fine. But the main thing is, men are optically stimulated, women are emotionally stimulated. We know that, we live with it. But you can't trust it. But Yahweh said He selected us not because we were the most numerous of people, but because we were the humblest of people. In fact, to Yahweh, a broken and a contrite spirit is the most attractive thing. Not cocky and arrogant, but broken and humble. He finds that awfully attractive. And so He selected us above all people because we love Him and because we obey Him. Amen. And because we have decided to be His chosen people, chosen for responsibility, we exist. We are Israel. And that reality changes all theology. Are you hearing me?
Amen.
Israel is not just the Jews. Israel is all 12 tribes.
Amen.
Are you hearing me? These 12, Yeshua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, go not into the city of the Samaritans, and do not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Who do we go to? The lost sheep of the house of Israel. Do I have to storm into the kingdom hall and tell the Jehovah's Witnesses how bad they are? No, because I'm not called to the Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm called to lost Israel. Now, there might be some lost Israel in there, but I'm going to politely wait for an opportune time to reach them. Are you hearing me? Emo will tell you, there's nothing greater that I enjoy than a couple of Mormon missionaries at my front door. Or Jehovah's Witness with their little watchtower. Because I'm going to get it. And in fact, I'll ask for an await to go with it. That's their other magazine that's a little deeper. And then I have them come in. Ema will sit there and say, oh no, here we go. She might want to be putting dinner on, but oh. I'll say, honey, go ahead and keep the dinner hot. I want to talk to these boys. I've been waiting for them. Why is that important? Because I don't want to sign a death warrant on any human being on this planet. I want everybody to come to the knowledge of truth so they can repent. Amen. Amen? So we are called to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. How will I know if they're the lost sheep of the house of Israel? How they react to my message. And Yeshua said, don't take it personal. If they don't receive your message, just dust your feet off. They're cursed. Let's just put it plain. They're cursed. Go on to the next one. See, that's the problem. We feel personal about this message. And when people reject it, we get hurt. And we take it personal. Don't they like me? That doesn't have anything to do with you. The enemy doesn't like you. And the enemy doesn't want them to come to the knowledge of truth. So he keeps them from you. Yes. But if you accept the message, that's Israel in you accepting the message. Do you think it's normal for when someone hears a Hebraic song from southern Alabama or the piney woods of North Carolina that they suddenly feel home? That's not natural. Is it natural when they see Jerusalem on the television that they feel drawn to it? No. It's supernatural. Yes, right. They're lost Israel. I guarantee you, I could sit here with you and ask you, when did you first realize that you were Israel? You'll say, it goes back. I didn't actually put my finger on it, but man, when I heard the Hebraic song, Brother Steve, I loved it. Or when I saw Israel on the television, I was drawn. When I went and visited Israel, a piece of my heart stayed there. I can't get it out of my heart. But I didn't realize that was what it was, that I was Israel being drawn to my home. That's it. What do you think drew Abraham to Salem? Jerusalem. We are to go to lost Israel and to throw out that lifeline so that they can come home. And here's the bait, the kingdom. And as you go preach this message, the kingdom is almost here. The kingdom is at hand. The kingdom is near. That means the king is almost here. Amen. It says Matthew 10:5-7. Amen. You see, the kingdom is like a football team with 12 captains. The captains have been commissioned to go out and actively recruit more team players. Those 12 captains are the 12 tribes of Israel that are to go into all the world recruiting lost Israelites to come and be a part of the covenant kingdom of Yahweh. And guess what? We're a winning team. In fact, we're the only winning team. All other nations will fall by the wayside, and the kingdoms of this world will become the kingdom of Yahweh. You shall be for me a kingdom of priests, a holy or set apart for all nation. And these are the words which you shall speak to the children of Israel. Well, if we're a kingdom of priests, who are the laity? The world that we're supposed to go out and sift Israel from. Amen? Says Exodus 19:6. So we need to be a part of the team. We are a team going out to lost Israel. The ministry of the Nazarene, restoring the commonwealth of Israel. You are a chosen generation. That's you. You are the chosen generation. A royal priesthood. A holy nation. His own, Yahweh's own treasure. His own special people. That you may proclaim the praises of Him of Yahweh, who called you out of darkness, because the darkness can't comprehend the word, says John 1:1. You've been called out of darkness into his marvelous light, the glory light. And in that glory light, he's changing us. From glory to glory, he's changing us. Amen. Says 1 Peter 2:9. The Nazarene Israelite belief has nothing to do with replacement theology, because we're not placing anyone, especially the Jews. Judah is our royal family, the tribe of the king. But Judah is only one tribe. It's the southern tribe. It has gobbled up Benjamin, because Benjamin sought refuge in the tribe of Judah. Ephraim is made up of the 10 northern tribes, with Ephraim being the majority influential tribe. Remember Romans 11? By the way, the book of Romans is written to the romantic people, to the Western man. And what does it say there? It says, because I have come to the knowledge of truth, that I should provoke Judah, the Jews, to jealousy. But I'm not going to provoke anybody to jealousy. Keeping Christmas, worshiping on Sunday, calling Jesus your Messiah, your Christ. Those things don't provoke Judah to jealousy. Wearing a kippah does. Wearing tzitzit does. Coming to a synagogue does. Calling them brother does. Daring to say, I'm part of you, does. In fact, right now, do you realize why you can't make Aliyah to Israel? Because the Jews are afraid if you make Aliyah, you will water down their identity as Israel. See, right now, they feel like they have the exclusive right to the name Israel. That's why they call their kingdom Israel, or their country Israel. It's a republic now, but that'll be a kingdom one day. But you see, it's not Israel until Israel returns. Judah's returned, and they've done a great job getting our country ready for us. Now and then they start bartering with our land, because it's the northern land they're bartering, not the southern part. They're keeping Judah intact, but they're saying, well, now the West Bank. That's not the West Bank. That's northern Israel. Are you hearing me? That's our land. Don't give it away. I'm almost there. As Ephraim comes back to covenant, the blindness of Judah will be lifted, and they will become jealous and cleave to the faith of Yahweh, unifying the kingdom. Because as we're grafted in, that causes them to sink their roots deep into the branch and the vine. See, Yahweh's able to graft them in. In fact, it's easier to graft in a secular Jew back into the faith than it is someone that's lost their identity.
That's true.
Are you listening to me? This is Romans 11:23. It goes way back. It goes to the covenant of Abraham. Yahweh said to Abram, I will make you a great nation. I'll bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. And I'll bless them that bless you and curse them that curse you. And in you shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Genesis 12:2-3. How many of you have heard that scripture before? If you come here, you've heard it a lot. And you know next what comes. That's a mistranslation, isn't it? Because that last word there, and in you shall all the families of the earth be blessed, is mistranslated. It should be, if that was the correct translation, the word barakanu, which means blessed are you, or in you, you're blessed. The collective you is the u on the end. But it doesn't say that. It has the word vinivraku, which means you are mixed or grafted in. Oh, now it's becoming obvious what I'm after, doesn't it? I will bless them that bless you and curse them that curse you, and I will be through you that all the families of the earth shall be mixed. It shall be through you that all the families of the earth shall be mixed. Genesis 12 and 3. That's why there's every kind of people and color, culture in Israel. So, now that you know that you're a Hebrew national and that you answer to a higher authority, no, I'm not calling you a weenie. I'm calling you chosen. Now that you know that you are a Hebrew national, what's that got to do with me? It'll change your outlook on life. All these peoples in the Hall of Faith in Hebrews 11 were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance, admitting that they were foreigners and strangers on earth. People who say such things show that they are looking for a country of their own. If they had been looking for the country that they had left, they would have had opportunity to return. Some have tried to return. They'll never be happy. Once they come here, try to go back to the church, they're not going to be happy.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, once you know you're an Israelite, there's responsibility.
Amen.
Where much is known, much is required.
Yes.
Amen?
Amen.
Instead, we're looking for a better country, a more heavenly one. Therefore, Yahweh is not ashamed to be called their Elohim, for he has prepared a city for them, says Hebrews 11, 13 through 16. That changes your outlook on life. There are benefits with citizenship. Amen? By faith, Abraham made his home in the promised land like a stranger in a foreign country. He lived in tents, as did Isaac and Jacob, who were heirs with him of the same promise. For he was looking forward. You mean to tell me that once he got to Israel, that wasn't enough? No. See, because Israel isn't good enough for you and I. In fact, this whole planet's not good enough. In fact, heaven's not good enough for you and I. It's going to take a new heaven and a new earth and a new Jerusalem coming down to satisfy what Yahweh has in store for his people. See, eye hath not seen, ear hath not heard, neither has it entered the hearts of men what Yahweh has prepared. But because Yahweh loved us, he gave us his son, and his son began to tell us the things that Yahweh has in store for us, like New Jerusalem coming down. You see, before that happened, everybody thought they were going to heaven when they died. In fact, Gentiles still think they're going to heaven when they die. Hopefully. Or that other place. Or you need asbestos underwear. Nope. We're looking for a city whose builder and maker is Yahweh, says Hebrews 11, 9 and 10. Amen. And he carried me away in the spirit to the mountain, great and high, and showed me the holy city Jerusalem coming down out of heaven from Yahweh. Revelations 21 and 10. Now I want you to understand something. That town, that city, that capital city is just as real a city as Temple, Texas. In fact, it's more real a city than Temple, Texas is. There won't be any crime there because nothing impure can enter the city. Amen. Then he showed me a river of the water of life, clear as crystal, coming down from the throne of Yah and of the Lamb, says Revelations 22 and 1. And let the one who is thirsty come, let the one who wishes to take the water of life without cost. Let him drink if he's thirsty, says Revelations 22 and 17. And in the middle of its streets on either side of the river, which of purest gold, was the tree of life bearing 12 kinds of fruit, yielding its fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. Revelations 22 and 2. Why do you think you wave those leaves and have that fruit, that citrus fruit, and wave it before Yahweh? Because that's looking forward to those leaves that we wave every month at Rosh Chodesh of the tree of life. What, do you think you're going to eat the leaf? No. We'll eat the fruit and wave the leaves like we always do. Revelations 22 and 2. Blessed are those who wash their robes. In what? In the blood of the Lamb. That they may have the right to the tree of life. Sounds like to me, he's returning us to Eden, isn't he? And because we are citizens of the New Jerusalem, we have the right to the tree of life and the right to go in and out the gates of the city, says Revelations 22:14. In fact, the word Hebrew, Ivri, means one from beyond. It comes from the root name Aver, or Eber, remember him? His name meant the region beyond. We are a people from beyond. Talk about ancient astronauts. See, our spirit came from heaven. It was breathed into us and we became a living soul. That's what the sin of abortion is. Trying to stop the migration of that spirit from heaven to earth so that it can influence for the kingdom of Yahweh. And then that spirit, like a salmon going back to its spawning ground, that spirit wants to get back to Yahweh. For like Yeshua said, what comes from Yahweh must return to Yahweh. So sin, the sin of sin is that it breaks the law of return. No. We are a people from beyond, trying to get to beyond, but beyond is coming down.
Amen.
Yonder. Amen. What's that got to do with me? How do I apply this new knowledge, in other words? You who were Gentiles by birth and called uncircumcised by those who call themselves the circumcision, which is done in the body by human hands. Remember that at that time you are without Messiah, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without Yahweh in the world. But if you'll accept the kingdom and its king, you will receive salvation through the shed blood of our Messiah. But now in Messiah Yeshua, you who once were far off have been brought near by the blood of Messiah. Ephesians 2:1-13. So if we are the commonwealth of Israel, we are with Messiah, citizens of the commonwealth of Israel, subjects of the covenants of promise, the people of hope, and showing the power of Yahweh, declaring his name throughout the world. That's who we are. For Messiah himself is our peace, who has made the two, Judah and Ephraim, mentioned in Ezekiel 37, and has destroyed the barrier, the dividing wall, by abolishing in his flesh the hatred for the Torah with its commandments and regulations. His purpose was to create to himself in one new man out of the two, thus making peace or wholeness, and in this one body to reconcile both of them to Yahweh through the gallows, by which he put to death their hostility. He came and preached peace to you who were far away in the diaspora, and peace to those who were near in Judea. For through him we both have access to the Father by one Spirit. Consequently, you are no longer foreigners and aliens, but fellow citizens with Yahweh's people and members of Yahweh's household, built on the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, the Torah and the testimony, with Messiah showing himself as the chief capstone. In him the whole building is joined together and rises to become a holy temple in Yahweh, and in him you too are being built together to become a dwelling in which Yahweh lives by his Spirit. Ephesians 2:14-22. So we have a mission, a call of duty. A call of love. Love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. Deuteronomy 6:5. Love Yahweh your Elohim and keep his requirements, his decrees and his laws and his commands always. Deuteronomy 11:1-3. He broke his commandments down in 3 divisions. Keep the Sabbath, love the name, and hold fast to the covenant. That's everything. Thus says Yahweh, keep justice and do righteousness, for my salvation is about to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. Blessed is the man who does this, and the son of man who lays hold upon it, who keeps from defiling the Sabbath, and keeps his hand from doing any evil. Do not let the son of the foreigner who has joined himself to Yahweh speak, saying, Yahweh is utterly separating me from his people. No, there's one people and one law for one people. Do not let the son of the foreigner who's joined himself to Yahweh say, I'm separate. No. And don't let the eunuch say, here I am a dry tree, for thus says Yahweh, to the eunuch who keeps my Sabbath and choose what pleases me and holds fast to my covenant, even to them I will give in my house and within my walls a place and a name better than that of the sons and daughters. We're not going to be called Israel anymore. We're going to be called Hephzibah, my darling. That's a better name. Ish-Sar-El, El rules these men, will be changed into Hephzibah, my darling. He's going to give us that name. And I'll give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. And the sons of the foreigner who join themselves to Yahweh to serve him and to love the name of Yahweh, to be his servants, everyone who keeps from defiling the Sabbath and holds fast my covenant, even them I'll bring into my holy mountain and make their sacrifices acceptable upon my altar. For my house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations. Why? Because we're to go into all nations, sifting Israel out of the nations. The sovereign Yahweh who gathers the outcast of Israel says, yet I will gather to him others besides those that are gathered to him. Isaiah 56, 1 through 8. This is what Yahweh says. Maintain justice. How do I know what is just? And do what is right. How do I know what is right? Shaul said, I wouldn't have known what was right without the Torah. The Torah is the truth. The Torah tells me what is right and what is just. For my salvation, my Yeshua, is about to come, and my righteousness soon to be revealed, says Isaiah 56 and 1. So salvation is coming for whom? Those who keep from defiling the Sabbath, love the name of Yahweh, and hold fast to the covenant. So let's look at it for just a few minutes. Blessed is the man that does these things. What things? Number one, keep the Sabbath day holy. I am Yahweh, I do not change, says Malachi 3:6. So if he doesn't change, his day doesn't change. Amen? Amen. So the creator of heaven created the seventh day as the Sabbath. So if Yahweh did that, who created the first day of the week as a Sabbath? The worshipers of the sun. Nimrod. So don't be a Nimrod. Keep the Sabbath day holy. Hey, that's a good one. When is the Sabbath? On the seventh day, Elohim ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all of his work which he had done. Then Elohim blessed the seventh day and made it holy. So man can't change it because Yahweh made it. Amen. And because he changed not, he can't change it. Because in it he rested from all of his work which Elohim created and made. Genesis 2, 2 and 3. And because Elohim rested on the seventh day, he designated it as a holy day to be remembered for all time. And then he invited us to it. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Have you ever noticed in Leviticus 23 it says, these are the festivals of Yahweh. The Moedim of Yahweh. It didn't say, these are the festivals for man. He says, these are the festivals for Yahweh. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invite you. And the very first Sabbath was the seventh day. He says in the fourth commandment, 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh your Elohim. Exodus 20, 8 through 10. Yeah, but I am a New Testament Christian. You're just quoting the Old Testament. Okay? What's the New Testament say? In the New Testament, the seventh day of the week is called, guess what? Sabbath. It's mentioned 58 times. Guess what the first day of the week is called? First day of the week, 8 times. And it's always differentiated from the Sabbath. This in itself is evidence for the continual validity and sanctity of the seventh-day Sabbath. The original followers of Messiah Yeshua records that he and his apostles went to the synagogue, guess what, on what day? Sabbath. Yeah, because on Sunday nobody was there. No, on the seventh day, they went to the synagogue, which was their custom, says Luke 4:16. Guess who gave the customs to Israel? If you read the Torah, Yahweh gives them their holy days, how they're supposed to celebrate their holy days, how they're supposed to eat, how they're supposed to dress, what they're supposed to put on the corners of their dresses. how they're to mix their textiles. In fact, the Torah covers about everything in life. So this was their custom, and that custom was given to Yeshua by Yahweh, his father. Messiah Yeshua even said, I have kept my Father's commandments.
so much. I think that's why he's back.
Still going? Oh, it's done now?
I sent it back to
going
my
to
kids.
shows and stuff like that.
Is my baby's back the same one?
Now they've got lots more different areas to eat on, other than just the legal deck and the dining halls. You know. They still got the paintball steakhouse,
Yeah,
they
they've
got
got
Italian
Italian
restaurant that you have to pay for. And then they got coffee shops that you have to pay for.
Versus,
Yeah. Yeah, but then they got other barbecue places, they get barbecue, and all that stuff's free. And they got the frog where they, something frog, where they,
frog tub, red frog.
red frog, they make their own beer now, Carnival does. And all that. I didn't get to try it, wanted to, just never had the chance to. You'll find some places that there's no people in it at all. But there's a lot of places you just can't get into.
I don't know if you guys are dancers, but there was an actual dance club in one of the
Yeah, they were
areas.
giving dance classes and stuff like that. A few of them trying to be. I'm not a dancer either. So.
They, where they have the jumbo thing in front of me, you can watch movies and stuff.
When
It was mostly children movies.
It was. When we were on the phone, let's say you had that.
Oh, when we went, they did. They refurbished. Yeah.
And added that.
No, if we had to do it again, we'd do it on a smaller ship.
And I was looking on the internet one time and they were talking about this brewing company. All the deal is very small. You're talking maybe at maximum 300 people on a ship.
Now that should be fun.
Of course, the price goes tremendously, but it takes cruises and you get very personalized service.
No.
No, this is the name of this place. But, I think it's in conjunction with one of the Canard cruise lines. It's one of their subsidiaries. But it's a big
Great
industry.
time. Just fighting the crowds. That's just fun. Yeah, that's the part that wasn't. You couldn't get a table. You had to wait for somebody to leave, and then by the time you got to by the time you had to move the stuff.
Yeah, just put it on another table that already
If y'all
had
want
stuff.
something different, different cruise, that sailing rail to Alaska is very different. If you love the outdoors and
Yeah, our
beautiful
son really
scenery,
enjoyed that because we get a lot of.
yeah. If you like that kind of
We're thinking about doing a cruise around Hawaii.
That's what we
That's
want
what
to
we
do
want to
too.
do. Is the Hawaiian one and the Alaskan one.
where you stop and you go to bed and wake up in another port.
But we did the Alaska one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, my son did too, and the picture we brought back was just so.
We went with
Understand.
we